This is a Fox News alert. I'm Ainsley Earhart in New York. If you've been watching us, you do know the news probably that Senator Ted Kennedy has passed away at the age of 77. He is dead right now, died of brain cancer. We have a Fox News producer who is at the home of Ted Kennedy. Andrew Phone is with us, joining us by phone. Andrew, what can you tell us right now? Describe the scene for us.
Ainsley, the Constable Police have already begun shutting down the roads here in Hyannisport, and the media has already begun to descend on the home of Senator Edward Kennedy. Barricades are up. The flag at the end of the driveway that leads into the same Kennedy compound remains at full staff at this hour. Ainsley?
I'm sorry, you still with us? Yeah, tell me, what are you seeing some of the family arriving at this point?
That would be a negative. In the last couple of days, there's been a lot of family around up here on the Cape. The senator's children have been spotted coming in and out of the compound, and in fact, last week, the senator's son, Teddy Jr., drove him around places nearby, familiar places, including Osterville, the neighboring village to Hyannisport here on the shores of Cape Cod. The hearse has arrived, I'm told, and 1:30 in the morning here. Hyannisport's a very sleepy little village, but this, sadly, was a day that's been anticipated for quite some time.
Well, I know that sometimes in these situations, I've been, covering news, I don't know, for a decade now, and I know that a lot of times, when we do these obit pieces, often the case, they will have passed away hours beforehand. The family wants a little bit of time to get the news out to the personal relatives and whatnot, and then the news media finds out about it. But if you're saying that the hearse has just arrived, or you're being told it just arrived, maybe that leads us to believe that he did pass away just a short time ago. We got word here in the newsroom at 1:30. What's your take on that, Andrew?
Yeah, there was a statement released by the Kennedy family. I'll read a bit of it here. Edward M. Kennedy, the husband, father, grandfather, brother, and uncle we loved so deeply, died late Tuesday night at his home in Hyannisport. So that would seem to indicate, Ainsley, that this was, although not unexpected, it did happen late last night.
Yeah, right. We got a statement from the family, too. Andrew, stay on the phone with us, and I'll read this statement. This statement we've got from the family, it says, "We lost the irreplaceable center of our family and joyous light in our lives, but the inspiration of his faith, optimism, and perseverance will live on in our hearts forever. We thank everyone who gave him care and support over the last year, and everyone who stood with him for so many years in his tireless march for progress toward justice." Now, Andrew, are you there covering the family, or do you live in that area?
I live here on Cape Cod, as does our staff cameraman, Paul Celeste. He lives over in Sandwich. And, between the two of us, we've covered Senator Kennedy and the Kennedys for the better part of 2 decades.
Right, that's what I was going to ask you about. So what's the response from the community? I know that the community probably is asleep at this time and doesn't know about his passing for the majority of the community. But when news broke a year ago, I remember I was here at Fox. This was May 2008 when he had the seizure and then was diagnosed with the brain tumor. What was the reaction of the community?
There'll be a lot of sadness across Cape Cod and also across Massachusetts today. 46 years, well, more than 46 years now in the U.S. Senate, and the Kennedy family is truly synonymous with the little village of Hyannisport. I mean, this was the summer White House when JFK was president, and so many of the Kennedys and their relatives return here year after year, summer after summer. But, I was in the compound 2 years ago doing a sit-down with Ted Kennedy, and he said Hyannisport is the place that the Kennedys truly consider to be home, and in fact, he called it sacred ground.
Right. So you did have an opportunity to meet with him. What was that like? And did you see him, other than that one interview, did you see him out and about at the grocery store or, running on the street or anything like that?
Well, running, no. And as far as the grocery store, no, but he was a fairly familiar sight around town. When you sit in the compound and you sit in the Kennedy home, there's a beautiful sunroom off the back of the house. Gives you a direct view over Hyannisport Harbor and the breakwater, and it was his favorite place to sit because he could look out and see his sailboat, the Maya, and that's where you usually saw Senator Kennedy. If it was Saturday or Sunday or even during the week during the break from Congress, from the Senate, you would see him out there sailing the mire. Sailing was truly a passion for him, and it began way back in his youth. And he used to sail a lot with his older brothers, I should say, both Jack and Bobby. And the little sailboat they sailed, the Victoria, was a 25-foot racing boat that was made in the next village over. So his passion for the ocean and his love of Cape Cod was apparent whenever he was here.
All right. Well, Andrew Phone, thank you for joining us on the phone there in the Cape area. And I'm sure we'll be continuously talking to you this morning. Thanks, Andrew. You're watching the Fox News Channel. We were told about 1:25 here in the newsroom that Senator Ted Kennedy died at the age of 77. We've continuously talked about his life and his legacy, a long-term senator representing Massachusetts and coming from such a powerful Democratic family. I'm Ainsley Earhart. You're watching the Fox News Channel, learning about the death of Senator Ted Kennedy. Thanks for joining us. We'll continuously break in throughout the evening when we get more information.